can you read?
Sir.
Saifa
Okay.
Tasneem.
Okay, sir. Norm reference versus criterion reference testing.
Tasty. Okay.
Imagine that a reading test is administered to an individual student. When we ask how the student performed on the test, we may be given two kinds of answer. An answer of the first kind would be that the student obtained a score that placed her or him in the top 10% of candidates who had taken that test, or in the bottom 5%, or
Or, okay, wait. Or that.
that she or he did better than 60% of those who took it. A test which is designed to give this kind of information is said to be norm reference. It relates one candidate's performance to that of other candidates. We are not told directly what the student is capable of doing in the language. The other kind of answer we might be given is exemplified by the following, taken from the Intergency language r- round
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 table.
roundtable language skill level description for reading.
Okay, so I'm coming to that point later on. So the first point. The first point is that we will directly, okay, would not say that the student is excellent. Okay, this is the best. Okay, no. For example, okay, as I gave you the example, your highest is, okay, as I gave you the example of the result of research methodology. So this time, for example, the highest is A minus. But in the last semester, the highest was A plus. Okay. Are you getting my point? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So please give me the feedback whether you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me or not. So both are the highest mark achiever, but what is the difference in ability? One got A plus and got the highest mark. Okay, in the previous semester. But this semester, the highest performer, okay, is who? Who got actually A minus. But both of them are the highest performer. Means the person who has got A minus in this semester, probably he is in the top 5%. And the person who got A plus in the last semester, that person is also, or that student is also in the top 5%. But in terms of ability, are they in the same position? Do you
No,
find
sir.
that the performance is
No,
the
sir.
same?
No,
No.
sir.
Okay, so in that case, you see, we know that who was the highest performer. Kono kono batch erokom hoy that, okay, some students get, okay, first, second class first in the class system, and another is first class first. Both of them are the first in two different years, but one is second class first, another is first class first. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in norm reference, okay, we know that who are the top performers and who are the low performers, but we do not know whether, okay, they are, we do not know their ability. So for example, if we know that, okay, who got A plus, okay, so A plus is actually the proof of the ability. Oh, the performance is excellent. Okay, so if you know A minus, you will say, no, this is not actually excellent, rather good. Okay, but if you know only the percent, okay, then it is never be possible to know their performance level. For example, BCS okay, preliminary or BCS written exam or even the Viva. In every cases, top 10% students or candidates are selected. Do you know this?
Yes, sir.
So top 10% are selected. So this is not the issue, whether the top 10% got 60 or 50 or 70 or 80. So that's why you know that in some years, so student get even 80 or 70, but even though they are not selected. Other year, maybe a student got 60 but selected because that 60 is in the top 10%. That's why cut mark sometimes goes higher, sometimes goes lower, because always they count, for example, 10%. Have you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So percentage is the important thing. Okay, top 5%, top 10%, top 20%. So this is called norm referenced. That we will only select it. What is the norm? The norm is we will select the top 10%, top performers. And how you can identify the top performers? Maybe those who are in the top 5%, top 10%, they will be selected. For example, you are okay, on a race. No matter all of you are running slow or fast, but there will be three candidates who will receiving the prize. First prize, second prize, and third prize. Okay, time is not the factor. Okay, if they can finish the 100-meter sprint in less than 30 seconds, only they will get the prize. This is not the issue. The issue is who are finishing earlier than other. Means top 3 will get the prize. Have you got this? Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
It may be in the Olympic. So gold, platinum, gold, and bronze, right? 3 prizes. Platinum, gold, and bronze. Is it?
Yes, sir.
So always 3. No matter what is the performance, but 3 will be chosen. Okay. So, but if the time is given, okay, that only those who will complete the race, within 30, all of them will get the prize. Then what kind of test it will be? Will it be norm referenced or criterion?
Criterion.
Then it will be criterion. Got the
We want to
idea?
know the ability is that will they be able to finish the race in the 30
Yeah.
minutes?
Yes. For example, if you get 80, you will get a plus. No matter that you know better than other or not, whether you are in the top 10% or not. Okay, but if for example, if the criteria is only top 10% will get the job, only top 10% will get the job. What about the number of participants? Number of candidates. For example, this time the number of candidates are 100. Then top 10%. So means 10 will get the job. Okay, automatically. So 10 will get the job because of the percentage system. So this is norm reference. Okay, so if it is those who will get only more than 80, only they will get the job. So if nobody gets 80, no one will get the job, no matter what is the percentage. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
And that will be criterion based.
Criteria based.
I think this is clear now.
So,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
sir, let's make it clear. So if our percentage of the test gives the information of the student, that is the norm reference testing, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
And the test which shows the ability of the student, that is the criterion for E testing, isn't it, sir?
If, right. Yeah. If it shows. Okay. So, Saifa, can you continue?
Yes, sir. Sufficient comprehension to read simple, authentic written materials in a form equivalent to easy printing or typescript on subject within a familiar context. Able to read with some misunderstandings, straightforward, familiar, factual material, but in general insufficiently experienced with the language to draw inference directly from the
Inferences.
inferences
Yeah. Guess. Okay.
inferences directly from the linguistic aspects of the text. It can locate and understand the main ideas and ideas in materials written for the general reader. The individual can read uncomplicated but authentic prose on familiar subjects that are normally presented in a predictable sequence which aids the reader in understanding. Text may include descriptions and narrations in context such as news items describing frequently occurring events, simple biographical information, social notices, formulaic business letters, and simple technical information written for the general reader. Generally, the prose that can be read by the individual is predominantly in straightforward, high-frequency sentence patterns. The individual does not have a broad active vocabulary, but is able to use contextual and real-world clues to understand the text.
Okay. So you see, this is what. So you have got a lot of elaboration, means description, okay, of the language skill. For example, what kind of language skill? Reading. Huh? For reading. So what is the skill? What is the skill? So these are the skills, right? So if you have those, means you are very much capable of reading. Means, okay, you know the description, narration, main ideas, details, specific ideas, biographical information, social, all the things you have. So, and we can consider that, okay, so you have the special knowledge in reading. But if you mention that, okay, top 5% or top 10%, you are in the top 5% or top 10%. So in that case, will you get the idea whether, okay, the student has this type of skill or not? Is it possible? Impossible to get. Impossible to get. For example, if you have, okay, the experience, okay, or even knowledge of IELTS test, you see how the band score is described from, okay, 0 to 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the scale, the highest. Okay, so based on, okay, based on your knowledge, so you are marked. Okay, so for example, if you have no grammatical issues, if you are very much competent in using all the sentence structure, variety of sentence structure, okay, then a professional, okay, words means register, okay, then, okay, if everything is perfect, no mistake, then you will get the full band score, means 9. Okay, if you have some mistake, okay, but you can use, okay, the sentence pattern, variety of, okay, words, okay, then it may be 8 in that way. If you have much grammatical errors, okay, then yes, you have only limited number of vocabulary, only some, you know, some structure, okay, in that case, your score may be 6. You see, this is the definition of the marking. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
So, means these are the criteria. But if the criteria is not set, then only if you find out the top 5% or 10%, this top 5% or 10% will not, okay, give you the idea of whether you are good or bad, you are capable or not. যেমন আমি একটা গল্প বলি আপনাদেরকে, হ্যাঁ, বাংলায় বলি। তো একজন বাবা তার ছেলেকে জিজ্ঞেস করছে, কিরে তোর রেজাল্ট কেমন হয়েছে? বলে, বাবা আমি 3rd হয়েছি। তো বাবা তো খুব খুশি, ঠিক আছে, ছেলে 3rd হয়েছে, 3rd হওয়া অনেক ভালো না?
স্টুডেন্ট কি 3 জনই ছিল?
হ্যাঁ, এখন ব্যাপার হলো, জিজ্ঞেস করেছে, পরের প্রশ্ন হলো যে ক্লাসে স্টুডেন্ট কতজন ছিল? এখন স্টুডেন্ট হলো মাত্র 3 জন, 3 জনের মধ্যে উনি 3rd হয়েছেন, খুব ভালো পারফর্ম করেছেন না? So you see the position will not give you the idea whether the student is really good, though he is 3rd, but it will not define that whether the student performed very well. 3 জনের মধ্যে উনি 0 পেয়ে 3rd হয়েছে। It may also happen like this, right? So the position 1st, 2nd or 3rd will not give you the guarantee whether they are the good student or bad student. Got the idea? So that's why norm reference tests are sometimes very what should I say, inappropriate to identify the ability of the student. For example, you are assessing the ability of the language learners, but these top 5% or 10% will not really expose the real performance or the ability of the student. Okay, so this is the idea, I think. Then
স্যার পড়বো? Similarly, a candidate who is awarded the Berkshire Certificate of Proficiency in German Level 1 can speak and react to others using simple language in the following context: to greet, interact with and take leave of others, to exchange information on personal background, home, school life, and interests, to discuss and make choices, decisions, and plans, to express opinions, make requests and suggestions, to ask for information and understand instructions.
Okay. Now the summary of the 2 different cases. So in these 2 cases, we learn nothing about how the individual's performance compares with that of other candidates. Can you compare?
No,
Whether
sir.
they learn those things or not, whether they have the reading skill, whether they have the speaking skill, can you identify?
No, sir.
So top 5% or top 10% will not indicate that whether they are able to speak, whether they are able to make choices, they are able to take decisions, plans, or express opinions or make requests. No, it will never say. So as যেরকম আমি স্টোরিটা বললাম, কি হয়েছে, 3rd হয়েছে, ইভেন দ্য ফার্স্ট হয়েছে, যে ফার্স্ট হয়েছে সেও 1 নাম্বার পেয়ে ফার্স্ট হয়েছে, যে সেকেন্ড হয়েছে সে 0.5 পেয়েছে 100 এর মধ্যে, আর যিনি 3rd হয়েছে উনি কিছুই লেখেন নাই, সাদা খাতা জমা দিয়েছে 0. So you see, so now if you make a compare and contrast between top 5% and top what is called the bottom 5%, so it will not give you any idea of the performance. You will never know what was the performance, what is the ability, got the idea?
Yes, sir.
So সব সময় সেটা পসিবল না। So that's why, so testing, why we are discussing different types of testing, because you know that for BCS it works. Why? Because you know that all the students who are taking part in BCS, they have all minimum qualification. What is the minimum qualification? All probably all of them scored very well, means more than A- or first class, right?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise
Yes, sir.
they are not allowed to apply.
So they have also criteria also.
Yeah, they have also a criteria. Okay, so based on the criteria after that, okay, they set the norm. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Sometime, okay, in a single test, as I told you in the last class. So in a single test, okay, you may get a lot of things. So that's why you have to know all the kinds, all the types of testing. That what are the purposes of different tests. So and that's why as a teacher, so you should not depend on the majority or minority always. The majority বলছে ওরা written exam চায়, so আমাকে written exam দিতে হবে. No. If I want to develop the speaking skill of my students, so even my students don't like speaking test or viva or presentation, but I have to arrange viva, I have to arrange presentation, I have to arrange interview, because I am assessing the speaking skill. Then again, I want to assess the written skill of my student. In that case, all the students, not only majority, rather 100% student want viva or interview, okay, or presentation, but I will not give them the oral test, any oral test, right? Because if I give them the oral test, it will be impossible for me to know their written skill. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have to understand the criteria. Okay, what is my criteria? Got the idea? So means based on the purpose of assessment, I have to design the test. Is it very clear? এই ব্যাপারটা clear হলো তো সবার কাছে? So this is the most important in testing. If you do not know the purpose, then your testing will never be appropriate. Okay, so then rather we learn something about what he or she can actually do in the language. Tests that are designed to provide this kind of information directly are said to be criterion referenced. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
if you want to really know that type of information, so then you have to set what? Criterion reference. So is it clear to all of you? No?
Yes, sir.
Now is there any confusion? Zahra, do you have any confusion?
No, sir. No, sir. Now it's
So
clear.
the purpose of criterion reference test is to classify people according to whether or not they are able to perform some task or set of tasks satisfactorily. Means already the criteria is set. Criteria is already set. Okay, that means the task or the ability, okay, or the performance is already set, and based on the set task or set performance, students will be evaluated. Means the tasks are set and the performances are evaluated. Is it okay? It does not matter in principle whether all the candidates are successful or none of the candidates is successful. সবাই ফেল করলো কি পাস করলো, this is not the issue. So তার মানে কি, as a teacher, now if you want to evaluate your teacher, for example, you are the principal, or you are the head of the institution. Now would you think that okay, all the students fail, it means your teacher is not good? Will you make the generalization like this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
যে কেমন টিচার, সব স্টুডেন্টরা ফেল করেছে মানে টিচারই ভালো না? Or will you think সব স্টুডেন্টরাই যেহেতু ফেল করেছে তো তার মানে স্টুডেন্টরাই ভালো না এই বছর? Because last year all the students passed, but this year no student passed, means students are the problem. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you cannot say so. দুইটার কোনোটাই এত সহজে বলা যাবে না। Okay, unless you evaluate them properly. কখনো কখনো যেরকম স্টুডেন্টরা কমপ্লেইন করে, so students say আমরা সব কোর্সে ভালো করেছি, I got A- in all other courses except this course. এই সাবজেক্টই ভালো না, এই ম্যাডামটাই ভালো না, উনি মার্কস কম দেন। Means you cannot compare this course with other courses. Probably the nature of this course is different from other courses. So as you have got A- in all other courses, there is no guarantee that you will also get
A plus.
A minus in the same course. Some students probably are not good in math, so it doesn't mean that so the person has got in all the courses the student has got A plus, so in math also the student should get A plus. No, this is not always true. Probably the particular student is very weak in mathematics, but commonly we accept this as he's good in all the tests, or in all the previous tests the student got A plus, even in math, in the subject mathematics, so he got A plus in all the previous courses. Probably this time the assessment was wrong, or there may be anything mistakes, so probably the result or evaluation, whatever it is, something, so you can ask for re-evaluation, re-examination, right?
Yes.
So means you have to also think of other issues. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So ये तो मने principal ताई ना हमारे Hizbullah, you are the principal of a school, right?
No, sir. Assistant teacher, sir.
Assistant teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I thought you were the principal or assistant headmaster. I heard probably from someone. Okay. However, so do you have any experience like this?
Yes, sir.
So can you share with us?
So last year I had a batch, sir. All of them were very good, sir. But after publishing the result, I saw they didn't get their accepted result as they wished for. But day before, but some year back, a batch they weren't very good, but their result was very good. So sometimes it seems to me the testing methods are not good. That's why sometimes qualified students don't get the proper mark. Again, similarly, sometimes for not having a very good testing type, some students get very good marks.
True, very true. So you are teaching at school or college or
School, sir.
school? Which level?
High section.
High school level. Okay. So now imagine that I am the headmaster and you are the assistant teacher. Okay, and I called you for the explanation. Okay, Mr. Hizbullah. Okay, so far I have seen that this year the students have done really poor. Their performance is very low. Probably this year you are not serious because you are attending your master's program. Probably you are more serious with your own study and you don't care of your students. So in that case, I'm not really happy. Okay, you should stop your study and you should focus on teaching. We do accept
Yes,
this.
sir. Very often,
We do.
they are thinking so, and that's why, sir. Some days back, I resigned the school.
So you see, sometimes the headmasters, means the administrators, they
Yes,
are
sir.
so fanatic, means so
Yes, sir.
illogical.
Yes,
So
sir. Sometimes
illogical
it seems
sometimes,
to
right?
me they don't have
sometimes-
logic, sir, to understand something.
Yeah.
They think, sir, only to get A plus. What the quality? They don't think about that. They only think all the students should get A plus.
You get a plus, and this is the fault with the teacher,
Yes, sir.
right? So it happens. অন্য স্কুলে প্লাস পাচ্ছে আমার স্কুলে কেন পাবে না? অন্য সাবজেক্টে পাচ্ছে আপনার সাবজেক্টে কেন পাবে না? So you see, without any criteria, so they unnecessarily will blame you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes or no? So that's why
Yes,
if you
sir,
know,
yes.
if you know the issues related to testing, the criteria related to testing, the types of testing, the purposes of testing, then the issues related to the assessment, issues related to marking, issues related to scoring, undoubtedly you can explain all those factors. Then the headmaster will not get the easy scope to underestimate you or make
Yes,
any
sir.
offensive comments.
Yes, sir. They were not to understand, sir, all of those, sir, you mentioned.
Yeah.
They only understand. I've long experienced 30 years, 30 years
Eh.
experience. And
Though
you
they,
have
though they do not know any criteria.
Yes,
Though they do not know any criteria.
yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
It's true. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. So then you see the tasks are set and those who perform them satisfactorily pass. Those who don't fail. This means that students are encouraged to measure their progress in relation to meaningful criteria. In relation to meaningful criteria without feeling that because got it? In the case of the Berkshire German certificate, for example, it is hoped that all students who are entered for it will be successful. Okay, so criterion reference tests therefore have two positive virtues. Okay, first they set meaningful standards in terms of what people can do and which do not change with the different groups of candidates, and they motivate students to attain those standards. Got the idea? But
Yes, sir.
this is impossible, okay, to identify that standard if you have norm reference test. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
But after candidate, for example, testing, you have 3 posts. Okay, so you have 3 posts and you may have, okay, for example, 1,000 candidates. Okay, then who will get the job? Hello?
তার লিঙ্ক যাদের আছে,
Mhm.
তার
Sorry?
নেটওয়ার্ক যাদের ভালো লিঙ্ক যাদের আছে তার
No, this top performers.
কিডিং স্যার কিডিং
Yeah, top performers, right? Will get the job. So top 3 performers will secure the job, right? Because this is the norm. এখন মার্কস কত পাইলো সেটাই okay with dal, okay, all are separately cooked. One is chicken curry, another is okay dal, another is vegetable. Okay, right? Are you getting my
Yes,
point?
sir.
So all
Yes,
the
sir.
3 items, 3 menus are separately cooked. Separately cooked. With this, rice is also cooked separately. Okay. So here all the items are separate, discrete. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Discrete. Okay. But now Munira is thinking, no, I have no time to cook 4 items separately. Rather, I will mix all the items together.
And make a khichdi.
Make a khichdi hotspot. Exactly.
Exactly, sir. What is doing now in my life, actually, sir. In every single aspect of my life, every single sector in my life, I'm doing this thing nowadays. Sir, nowadays I'm just making khichdi. Honestly, sir, even in
Yeah.
food menu.
Yeah.
Most of them, my food menu,
Because you
I
are
prepare
wise.
khichdi for all of them,
Yeah,
for my
because-
kids and for my parents.
Because you are wise.
Because I
you want to
have time.
you want to save your time. right? You think that okay, if
Yes,
I
sir.
cook separately,
Sir, I have to complete multiple tasks,
yeah.
sir.
So
Multiple
you think
tasks.
that okay, if I
Every day I
if
have
I
to complete tasks, sir.
if I cook separately, it will take 2 hours. Okay, so I should not spend 2 hours for that. Rather, I can only spend 20 minutes or 25 minutes for cooking. So
Yes,
I
sir.
will combine all those. First, I will add means first I will fry chicken. Okay, or if you don't want to fry, so you can boil a bit along with the vegetables. Then by adding spice and other things, or by slightly frying the rice, you will cook the hotspot. It may be one way. Yes or no? It may be the recipe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and
Yes, sir.
later on you can add some vegetables there. Okay, so or you can do it combinedly, whatever it is. Also, you can give dal, add dal also with this. So you see, it's up to you in which way. But your purpose is satisfying your hunger, and you want to get the full nutrition. And you know that
Yes, sir.
if you cook together, so by taking the single food, it will save time. Good for serving also, right? Good for also serving.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and within the limited amount, so you are getting all the items, and there will be no problem. So in terms of health, in terms of food value, there is no problem, but only maybe the taste is different.
Sir, it is out of topic, but very interesting to me. I want to share, sir.
Yes,
Just
please.
just right now, few minutes ago, my son was claiming to me, "I want noodles," and my daughter was asking for soup, chicken soup. So I just recently, just few minutes ago, I mixed that soup and noodles and made a soupy noodles.
Yeah,
And I just finished so quickly then and come here to attend the class.
and you'll be very surprised to know that I have some special creative dishes. So I combine all those, what you can imagine. Even I
Yes,
take
sir.
fruits with this with the hotspot
For example,
of your children. Okay, so you undoubtedly you want to assure that your children or your husband, your family members are getting the proper nutrition, right? So now you identify that what are the ingredients that can ensure the nutrition, or food value. Now you combine all those together, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so even the salad items can be added. For example, you can also add some cucumber in the hotspot. Then you think, okay, so even lemon, you can also add some lemon juice in the hotspot. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is also so carrot that can be also added there. So you see, so you have no extra pain. But if you are used to, so food is also the cultural thing. So it's a matter of habit. So if you can form the new habit of taking this type of food, undoubtedly you will enjoy this. You will never feel bad. Oh, I'm not actually taking 4 or 5 items, so only one item. No, you will never feel like this. Rather, you will feel good. So here, actually, when you want to administer any test, you have to consider a lot of issues. Students' background, whether they are familiar with the test, whether they know the test pattern, a lot of things. So then only you have to consider the issue. For example, if it is what is for example what kind of program I can say? Okay, the more the very traditional program. Okay, if I say that this is marriage, post-marital reception ceremony. Okay, so what kind of food you expect?
Post-marital ceremony.
Yeah,
Kachi, sir.
kachi.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so kachi or pulao. Okay, then curry, right? Rezala. Okay, these or that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, roast,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay, so then fish fry, something like this. But if you get Munira's special recipe, how do you feel?
Oh no, sir.
Disappointed, sir.
Okay. So what will be the feeling of the guest in the reception party?
They will never come to visit again, sir.
They will never come to visit you again, undoubtedly. And you will be severely criticized. Though all the items, the ingredients of roast, ingredients of katsi, ingredients of pulao, everything is there. But you will be severely criticized because the face value, it has no face value. So for testing, also in the same way, the testing is also sometimes cultural. You are probably very innovative, but this innovation sometimes may not work properly. It may not be effective because what is the reason? The reason is they are not oriented with the test.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Means learners are not oriented. Got the idea? Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
So it has the cultural connection also. So this is called the face validity. So looking at the test, you think that no, this is not appropriate. For sitting for written exam, what is necessary? Reading the text is necessary. Reading the mentioned chapters or the items of the test is necessary. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Though the test is written, but it automatically includes reading. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It automatically includes listening also. So before the test, as a part of test preparation for the test, you will also listen to the video as Munira mentioned that sometime the lecture, the audio helps you to understand better. Sorry of the class means you have some listening, you have some reading. So reading and listening are also helping you to speak and also to write. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Because one is related to input, another is related to output. Okay, so if there is no input, there will be no output. Yes, so reading and listening, these two are the input. Right. Receptive means that's why they are called receptive skill. You are receiving the information, ideas through reading and listening. But what are the productive skill? Your writing and your speaking, is your production, productive skill. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, are they connected? Are they connected? Means, do you find the connection among
Yes,
all the
sir.
four
Yes, sir.
skills?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so
That means, sir,
they are also integrated. They are also integrated, right? They are also integrated. But what you will do? Here the purpose is whether you can communicate or not. Okay, you can communicate or not. Yes, because the main purpose of this test is measuring the ability to take part in the acts of communication, either written communication or oral communication. If you can communicate, that's all right. But what is the purpose of the proficiency test?
The purpose of the proficiency test
Okay,
is,
what is proficiency?
does the student have a very good command over the language? I think so.
Okay,
He's
So,
very
and how-
he's
how can you identify that whether the students have the good command or not? Okay, what is proficiency
How-
test? Okay,
how well
Saqib.
the
Saqib, could you please read the proficiency test?
okay, sir. Proficiency tests are designed to measure people's ability in a language, regardless of any training they may have had in that language. The content of proficiency tests, therefore, is not based on the content or objectives of language courses. that people taking the test may have followed. Rather, it is based on a specification of what candidates have to able to do in the language in order to be considered proficient. This raises the question of what we mean by the word proficient.
Very good idea. Okay, I would like to stop here. Then I discuss the rest of the issue. So, proficient. So, what is the meaning of proficiency? The meaning of proficiency means the sufficient. You see the next. Okay, proficient means the next para. Proficient means having sufficient command of the language for a particular purpose. For example, you want, okay, a night guard, okay, for your house or for your organization or institution, whatever. So what kind of, okay, proficiency do you want, means language proficiency do you want for the night guard?
Language proficiency.
Means if the person can communicate with you, only understands, okay, his duty and can share the same with you, then I think that person will be qualified to be appointed as a night guard. Yes or no? Or do you want that, okay, the night guard has the certificate, okay, the night guard has some special training or got excellent A+ in some courses of language?
No,
Do you
sir.
want that?
No, sir.
No, you never want that. You never that type of proficiency.
No, sir.
So your desired level of, okay, language proficiency is, okay, the person is able to communicate, and mainly what kind of communication? Oral communication, even not the written communication, or
Yes, sir.
even if it is written, what kind of written, okay, communication? For example, you have written the message, okay, tomorrow you will, okay, come to the office at, okay, 6 p.m. a bit earlier. Usually you come at 9. So আগামী কাল কখন আসবেন? 6টার সময় আসবেন, একটু বিশেষ কাজ আছে। And if the night guard understands the message, only can read the information, I think that is enough. That means that night guard can be considered as proficient. Means the level of proficiency, the level of proficiency we expect from the master's student, that is not the same level of proficiency from the undergraduate students. The level of proficiency we expect from our undergraduate students, that is not same for the college students. The level of proficiency we expect for the college student, that is not the same for the primary school student. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all the proficiency tests are, okay, measuring the ability, but the ability or abilities are not the same. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so even the communicative scale is not the same. The level of communication you expect from your university teacher, do you expect the same level of communication from the primary school teacher?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, the way you talk, the way you listen, the way you write, the way you read, definitely, okay, the primary school student will not practice the same. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so their communicative skill, the way you attend the class, the way I talk, okay, at the university level, the way you talk, the way you participate. So means we have also the communicative skill here, but this communicative skill is definitely different from other levels. Got it?
Yes.
So it varies from situation to situation, from objective to objective,
Level to
means
level.
level to
Level to
level,
level.
yeah, person to person, class to class, right? Means based on the purpose, this level will be set.
Yes.
Okay, so the criteria we'll set for the proficiency means the command of language. So definitely it will not be the same, okay, for all groups, all candidates. Have you got the answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what else? What
Sir,
other questions?
I have a question, sir. There is
Please,
a
please.
short thing that I cannot understand. That is the objective testing versus the subjective testing. I know
Oh.
that is both of them are based on the scoring, but there is one thing that I couldn't understand. If, sir,
Yes, please.
sir, may I read from the?
Sure, sure. Definitely. So can I help you with the text?
I have that test in my mobile. Just communicative language. It is communicative language এর উপরে এটা objective and testing subject.
Sorry. Okay. Yes. So which one you don't understand? Please tell me.
This part, if no judgment is required on the part of the scorer, then the scoring is objective, and the multiple then the if the judgment is called for the scoring is said to be subjective. That is the thing that I cannot
Don't
understand.
understand.
Failing
Okay.
to understand.
So for example, if you sit for the MCQ, if you take part in MCQ, multiple choice question or multiple choice test. Okay. So in that case, if you answer, for example, the correct answers for question number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are like 1A, 2C, 3B, and 4D, suppose. And if you answer all the correct answers, you will definitely get 4 out of 4 because it carries 1 mark. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Do I need any judgment here?
No, sir.
I am the scorer.
Yes, sir.
Do I need to think খুব ভালোভাবে লিখেছি কিনা? অ্যানসারটা কি খুব
No,
এক্সেলেন্ট
sir.
হয়েছে কিনা? So is it the best answer? Something is missing. Could you use better sentences? Could you write in a more organized way?
No, sir.
Could you write in a more coherent way? Your register could be better. So nothing. You require nothing. Got the idea? Means as a scorer, I need to give any judgment. But if the question is, for example, I am asking, make a difference between objective testing and subjective testing. This is the question. And the marks for this is 4 marks, 2 for objective testing, 2 for subjective testing. Now I have to really judge when I score your answer script. So I have to judge whether you will mention all the criteria you have defined objective test or you have defined subjective test in a right way with example this or that, your writing standard, is there any grammatical mistake? So you see, I need a judgment. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is subjective, means I am active here.
The scorer need to consider everything.
Yeah, scorer needs to consider a lot of things. Scorer needs the judgment. তাহলে কি ভালো লিখেছে, ফুল অ্যানসার করলো নাকি হাফ অ্যানসার করলো or কোয়ার্টার অ্যানসার or 3/4 অ্যানসার?
Okay, sir.
So
Got it?
interview কি subjective এর
Yes,
মধ্যে
yes,
পড়ে না
yes.
interview?
Interview.
জি স্যার।
Yeah,
Subjective
interview is mostly subjective. But if the questions of the interview is only, for example, MCQ type. Okay, 10 questions for all the participants. Similar questions. Okay, if the answer is correct and all will get the same marks, then it is not subjective actually. It will be objective. So this is interview because of the nature of the test. Okay, but normally this is not, because in interview the purpose of the interview is to know everything. Okay, and the questions types are not usually MCQ, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then anything else here? So you see different types of subjectivity, another important issue. So that I started with today. There are different degrees. Okay, I'm reading that. If judgment is called for, the scoring is said to be subjective. There are different degrees of subjectivity in testing. The first one. What is first one? The impressionistic scoring of a composition may be considered more subjective than the scoring of short answer in response to questions on a reading passage. Why more subjective? Because if there are short answers, okay, if there are some questions, so marks are distributed. Okay, for these 1 mark, for example, a reading passage, right? Or short questions, so each carry 3 or 4. So in that case, okay, you know that, okay, so if you answer 5 short notes, okay, you will get, okay, 25 if you answer correctly. But for single essay, if you have 25 marks, and if the marks are not properly distributed, for example, 5 marks for introduction, okay, introduction, okay, then 3 body paragraphs or contents, okay, 15 marks, okay, and then 5 for conclusion. If you have no scoring like this or any other issues, any other criteria, then it will be really difficult, okay, to find out, okay, that you have answered all or what will be the scoring. In that case, you definitely will be dependent on your impression, that who is the good writer, who is the mediocre writer, who is the worst writer or low performer or poor writer. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So definitely impressionistic scoring will be more subjective. That's why, so in terms of scoring, okay, so you should define the rubrics on what basis you have to or you will score. For example, can you remember that when I gave you the course outline, I gave you the assessment rubric.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mentioned everything for content. How many marks you will get for organization? Okay, how many marks? Even can you remember last time for presentation? Okay, so out of 10 marks, 1 for introduction. Okay, then 2 marks for the development of the ideas, 1 for concluding remarks, another for for example, pronunciation, another for vocabulary. So can you remember that I gave you the description of 10 marks? I mentioned so that it can help me to find out whether you are maintaining all those or meeting the criteria or not. But if I have no criteria, if I know rubrics, so definitely my marking will be impressionistic. আমার মনে হয়েছে আপনি ভালো বলেছেন, তার উপরে মনে হওয়ার উপর ইমপ্রেশনের উপর মার্কস দিয়ে দিব, সেক্ষেত্রে ইনজাস্টিস হওয়ার পসিবিলিটি থাকে অনেক বেশি। Got the idea? And it becomes more subjective. আমার মন চাইলো কাউরে B+ দিলাম, মন চাইলো না দিলাম না, কাউকে ফেলও করাই দিতে পারি, মনে হচ্ছে ধুর কি লিখেছে এসব ফালতু জিনিস। বাট যদি আপনার শর্ট কোশ্চেন্স গুলো থাকে মন চাইলেও, তাহলেই আপনি করতে পারবেন না। একটা হয়তো অ্যান্সার খারাপ করেছে, বাকিগুলো ভালো করেছে, তখন আপনাকে মার্কস দিতে হবে। কিন্তু কখনো কখনো এমন হয় প্রথম লাইন পড়ে আপনার মেজাজ খারাপ হয়েছে, কি সব লিখেছে এটা, অথবা শেষে এসে হঠাৎ করে কনক্লুশনটা পড়েছেন, এটা পড়ে আপনার মেজাজ খারাপ হলো, ধুর এটা আর পড়বো না। একটা কোশ্চেন পড়ে আপনার মেজাজ খারাপ, স্যার বাকিগুলো আর দেখলে দিই না, তাকে মার্কস দিয়ে দিলেন। সো ইন দ্যাট কেস it might not be really objective marking. Got it?
Yes, sir.
As
sir.
you had two different types of test. Okay, for example, during your SSC or HSC, subjective and objective. নৈর্ব্যক্তিক এবং কি ছিল এটা রচনামূলক। So your subjective is রচনামূলক, যেখানে আপনার পড়ার পর টিচার কি করবে, জাজ করতে হবে whether you have written well or not. But in most of the cases for MCQ, no judgment is necessary. OMR machine can do this even.
Yes, sir.
অথবা এটার জন্য শিক্ষক নিজেরও দেখার দরকার নাই। যদি ওনার জায়গায় যে কাউকে বসিয়ে দেয়, ওই টিচারের জায়গায়, যেমন ওই হিজবুল্লাহ স্যার যদি মনে করে না আমার এত সময় নাই অবজেক্টিভ খাতা দেখার, ওনার এক ছাত্রকে বলে দিল এই দেখ উত্তরপত্র দিয়ে দিলাম, ওয়ানে যদি এ পাস তাহলে কারেক্ট অ্যান্সার দিবি, তো ওনার ছাত্রও দেখা যাবে ওই অ্যান্সার করে দিয়ে দিয়েছে। স্কোরিং ক্যান বি
Yes,
পসিবল,
sir. Very awesome.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chemistry MCQ.
yeah. But is it possible to judge the subjective writing?
No, sir.
No. Can you assign your student to score the subjective answers?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
No, the subjective part impossible, because you need the judgment. Your student do not know. Your student does not know that what to do. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So then objectivity in scoring is sought after many testers, not for itself but for the greater reliability it brings. Sought after by many testers. Why? Because it may not be reliable. Sometime, if the teacher is not very careful, very conscious, if there is no rubrics, definitely there may be the problem in scoring. So in general, the less subjective the scoring, the greater agreement there will be between two different scorers, and between the scorers of one person scoring the same test paper on different occasions. So why? So for example, two teachers are evaluating a single script. If there is no guideline for marking, for example, I have given 20 out of 30. Another has given 15 out of 30. So difference is very high. Or sometime maybe 12 out of 30. Only the pass mark.
Yes, sir.
Because no scoring criteria is given. It becomes more impressionistic. So in that case, the difference between the scores will be, or it has the chance to be higher. Is it okay? Any other questions? Dilruba Akhtar Dola. With the life. So you have to bring all the issues related to King Lear's suffering, or administration, so with your real life. Then if you can relate it, undoubtedly it will be fantastic experience for you. So a relation to তৈরি করতে হবে. So that's why teaching should be very much artistic. এটা শুধু এমন না যে আমরা শুধু কিছু ইনফরমেশন শেয়ার করলাম, তাহলে তো টিচারের দরকার নাই, আপনি 10টা বই পড়লেই তো আপনি সার্টিফিকেট পেয়ে যাবেন, ইনফরমেশন পেয়ে যাবেন, তাহলে আর এই ইউনিভার্সিটিতে ভর্তি হওয়ার দরকারটা কি, আসার দরকারটা কি? You can read even 100 books without coming to the university. So that's why you need the systematic connection, so that you can develop your mind. You need the guide. So that's why as a teacher, if you do not know in which way you should design the test, so can you test your students?
No, sir.
In real life, if you do not know on what basis you should consider your child is the best child of the world, is it based on the GPA or is it based on based on his or their humanistic attitude?
So humanistic attitude.
এখন আপনার হিউম্যানিস্টিক অ্যাটিটিউড খুব ভালো, সব দিক থেকে ভালো, খুব চমৎকার, সুন্দর করে কথা বলে, কখনো মিথ্যা কথা বলে না, দুষ্টুমি করে না, আপনার সব কথা শুনে, সব দিক থেকে আচার আচরণ চরিত্র সব দিক থেকে ভালো, কিন্তু পড়াশোনায় ভালো করে না, তাহলে আপনি বলবেন না, এটা সবচেয়ে খারাপ, এরকম খারাপ বাচ্চা আর হয় না।
হয় না,
You,
জি
you
স্যার।
consider this. So you see,
Sir,
it depends on the objective. আপনি কিভাবে
Objective.
দেখছেন? In which way
Yes,
you are considering?
Yes, sir.
So test depends on also, or the assessment or evaluation depends on the criteria. এখন আপনার ওকে যদি মনে করেন হ্যাঁ A+ পেলেই শুধু ভালো স্টুডেন্ট, যে A+ পায় না তার জীবন শেষ, তাহলে তো A+ পায় নাই বলে সে কি করবে? That student will commit suicide after the announcement of the results. And these are also happening. Means those students or those parents do not know the evaluation criteria, and they have only said the single criterion, yeah, criterion based. A+ যদি না পাও বাসায় আর জায়গা নাই, তোমাকে সব দিচ্ছি, সব ফ্যাসিলিটি এনশিওর করছি, এরপরে যদি A+ না পাও এই বাড়িতে জায়গা পাবো না। সো যখন রেজাল্ট আসছে 4.9 পেয়েছে আর 4.94, কিন্তু A+ পায়নি, 0.6 কম আছে, 0.06 কম আছে, এই 0.06 এর জন্য কিন্তু সে সুইসাইড করলো। বাড়িতে তো যাইতেই পারবো না, তাইলে আর কি করবো? লেটস কমিট সুইসাইড। So but should it be the objective of life?
No, sir.
Does it mean anything? So who is making the wrong? As a parent? So you are
As a
making the
parent,
mistake,
sir.
right? So you do ফ্রাই করেছে, 500 টাকা বিল করেছে, এরকম চান
জি
আপনি?
স্যার, একটা বানানা 2000
No,
টাকা।
sir.